So we have people on Zoom, so it means we have to do a roll call for everything, so just for attendance, we've got Monica here, Katie here, Jan here, Kathy,
I'm here.
Holly, I'm here. Holly plays, and then online we have Jessica,
Here.
Trevor,
Hello.
and I see Elizabeth there.
Hi, I'm here.
Anybody else online? No, that's it. Okay. Well, we have a quorum. And so let's move to the minutes of last month's meeting. I was not here. Does anybody have any comments? Yeah.
I understand if we're not able to, would we possibly be able to change the Monica left the meeting early due to it being her son's first birthday to personal matters?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, that's quite. I think it's quite reasonable. Any other comments?
I had one, but I can't find it. I brought the wrong page. No biggie.
There's a section that, where Kreska's talking about service contracts we already have, which the minutes don't need correcting, but I would like us to talk about that again in more detail at a, put it on the agenda.
Okay, we have time. I did have something about follow up on the maintenance issues.
I mean, it doesn't have to be today, but
Yeah, well, okay. Those are a moment to approve minutes.
So move.
So, any further discussion? Oh, we have to have a second. All right, so voting on approving the minutes with the correction as requested by Monica. Kreska,
I approve.
Trevor,
I approve.
Holly, I approve. Monica,
I approve.
I abstain.
approve.
I wasn't there. Kathy, yeah.
Aye.
Okay. So, moving on to the, project updates, so did you talk, you said you talked to Bill?
I have not talked.
Oh,
I did go over his emails though, and one email that really stuck out to me was the conversation with data from the thermostat for the fire station doors being open.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go into personal business because it's not my place, but we did have multiple ambulance calls.
Yeah.
And fire calls in the month of January, so it kind of was open a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like after reviewing the data, it's pretty stagnant as to what Bill summarized in.
as to what?
It's pretty stagnant, it's concurring a constant rate, is
Yeah.
what Bill said in the
Yeah,
email.
right, I mean, you can see that the heat comes on periodically. Now, he doesn't have any data on when the door was open, so he can't correlate that. There was a lot of cold weather, of course, in January also, but it seemed like the heat pumps were doing a pretty good job. Okay. So
Yeah.
Bill, yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was, heartening,
yeah.
his
no,
report.
I thought that was good news. So they, we circulated a, thing that just came in yesterday, which was an estimate from Evergreen to, fix up the generator room, and they're proposing putting in a new door, putting in insulation around, repairing the wall between the generator and the garage, which is kind of damaged, and put in a new hatch. There's a door there or a hatch for to access to the generator for maintenance, and that they would basically replace that with a sealed one. Evergreen's total price was $10,208. There's a discount if we sign within 3 business days. This came yesterday of $1,000. Estimated efficiency main rebate of $1,800. So total after those two things is $7,300. And then there was also we paid, cash, or by electronic funds transfer, which I think Brian could do, an additional discount, bringing that to 6,846, or if we didn't do the 3-day, 7,046, which is within our budget. The only issue here is, Bill, and I think he may have also, has been in touch with some of the island-based contractors and people who have expressed some interest have not gotten back to him. I don't think he's talked to every single contractor on the island. And so the main question in my mind is, do we need to do more to make sure that we haven't? I mean, Evergreen, we've worked with, and they do a good job. They're reliable, they're a good outfit, but they're not island based. So any thoughts about that?
I'll opine.
Yeah.
I mean, since I joined this committee late spring, early summer, Bill has been trying to get the contractors to respond.
Yeah,
And I have no doubt that he's been regular in his efforts, and it's just not happening. And so consequently, the work has been delayed and delayed and delayed. And I guess I would go for going with Evergreen and giving that reasoning to the
Yeah.
town.
Yeah, they're actually losing money in the cost of, their, where the town is, because of the fact that the room is not
it's not as well
insulated. as it should
insulated as
be.
it could be, yeah.
Right.
Cressica's had her hand up for a while.
Who did? Kreska?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, Kreska.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on the temperature records and the door opening, and then I'll comment on the Evergreen proposal. So in 2022, I did a study of how much heat we were losing due to the door opening, and it was about 10 to 15% when it was warmer on average. And now it seems like and the furnace had to run, for example, like between 1 and 2 hours extra every time the door opened. But now the furnace is running significantly less with the heat pumps, in concert with the heat pumps when the door is open. So overall, there's a lot of reasons why the heat pumps are being effective. In addition to the fact that the furnace is rarely running except on really cold days, according to those temperature records. So I'm just thinking, like, and then I'm trying to relate that to, what the cost of not insulating the generator room is. And I'm trying to justify, what was it, is it a $10,000?
Oh, no, that was before this various discounts, so the final number was 6,846.
Wait, so it's a $7,000 project
Right, basically, yeah.
for just that generator room? I would, right now, I would want to look at the proposal more. Like, I haven't had a chance to look at the proposal. It seems significant compared to what needs to be done. And yeah, I just want to understand it more and maybe revisit it when Bill is back.
We can do
Just-
that.
'Cause I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with it right now at that level of cost.
Paper copy. I mean, well, I've been having some work done on our house, and boy, all the costs are much higher than you would have expected, or much higher than it would have been a few years ago. I mean, just the cost of materials has gone up so much. This does include a new door, which probably is about $1,000 by itself. Anyways, Monica, you were gonna say
It's
something?
not detailed on here.
What?
The door isn't detailed on.
No, it's not, but it's listed.
Yeah, install a custom cut exterior insulator lockable fiberglass door in the frame down open.
Yeah, right, but they didn't give a separate price for that, but.
Yeah. I think that maybe, I don't know,
Can keep it by
Bill's not here,
Yeah,
and he was the one that spoke with Nate.
yeah,
I think it would be great to wait, yes, the quote expires next Thursday,
yeah,
but at the same time, you know, we're currently going into the warmer months, finger crossed,
right.
knock on wood. Oh, I'm sorry, but, it is doing fixing the drywall where the ambulance has backed into and broken, creating a new access of that, insulating it, we did talk about in our emails back in November about a certain price point. We have, you stated in the emails, I think it changed by now, but Harriet, you did say there was like a $25,000 budget for the fire station. Does that mean we use all that money for it? No, using it wisely. Then Bill stated if we get anything under $5,000 bidding, do we need to do a much larger bid and go to the select board? So I think best bet is like, yeah, it's nice. We finally got a quote. We finally have someone to be able to do the work and want to do the work, but Bill is actually the one facilitating all this.
I think $10,000 is the threshold for requiring a formal RFP. So.
I could just
pushing
speak
that, yeah.
for comparison that we've done a lot of installation at Circle Building in the last
Yeah,
3 or 4 months. And this kind of price estimate is entirely in line with what we've been paying.
yeah. I would say, if we weren't doing exactly this kind of work, but considering what work we have done as cost, it doesn't seem throughout our budget. Yes, the original budget, we had envisioned actually moving or even purchasing a new generator, which, as we've said before, Mert and Fred, after conferring with them, they didn't want us to do that, so we're focusing on the room. So, okay, so we'll sideline this. I mean, does everybody agree with that for more discussion?
Well, if worst comes to worst, we can just ask them for an updated quote.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they want you to do it in 3 days because prices are unstable right now, right? So.
Well, they said there's a discount for signing.
There's a discount.
within 3
Right,
days,
but the reason they
But
want
it
you to-
also says that the quote is valid 10 days, I think.
But you lose, what, $600 discount,
No,
Isn't
no,
it?
more than that, 1,000.
$1,000 discount.
Yeah,
So is that worth it?
if you. That's when you sign within 3 business days of the receipt, which, like I said, we received this yesterday, so. But the price quote expired on the 19th, they said.
Well, if worst comes to worst, I mean, we can always wait until later and just get another quote and then this discount's over. When does the efficiency main thing happen or expire?
The 19th. This is efficiency main. No, this is Evergreen. Oh, the rebates, I don't know. It didn't say.
That would be important to know.
Yeah.
It's $1,800, right?
You know, let me see.
Is the discounts just for signing on with them quickly?
Yes,
Mhm.
Okay, so it's not part of the rebate. You
right.
still get
It's in
rebates no matter
addition to
what.
the
There are
rebate,
2,
correct.
there's actually 3 discounts.
Yeah, so price summary, since we've already passed the price quote with the discount expires on March 9th, which was yesterday. We've already lost the possibility of discounts. Because discount expires, that discount would have been,
No, this says within 3 days of receipt of the original
Right.
proposal, which
It would
Bill
be
said
March
he received
12th.
yesterday. It says March. Oh, price code discount expires March 9th.
yeah. And
I don't
then
know, Bill said he just got it yesterday, so.
that is strange that he received it then. Maybe it's a push factor of signing now. And then the overall quote that they give of $10,208, that expires on March 19th,
Correct.
which would mean we would have to have them come back out and do another quote for us.
Mhm.
But they don't necessarily have to come back out
Mhm.
because it's really a matter of pricing the materials.
Yeah.
There's a change in the materials price. Um. So, Kreska said she felt like she wanted more time to review this, and I also heard people wanting to review with Bill, who had done. Well, now we don't necessarily have to wait until next month. You can ask about the efficiency main rebate.
Does anybody have a clarification on what that efficiency main rebate is? Like, is it part of this home program or the commercial industrial incentive program? It's very confusing on their quote.
I know, I'm just trying
It
to,
didn't say, it just said
It says
efficiency main rebate.
efficiency green bank, efficiency main green bank and or NEIF. I don't know what NEIF is.
That's for financing, and we wouldn't be financing it.
But that's what,
That little paragraph is just about financing.
there's an asterisk and then it says details about your financing options, options for efficiency main rebatable work up to $25,000 in project costs.
Right, that's just about financing. We're
It's
not
about financing.
Well, I'm not sure that's really what it means, but
It says
Well, it
details
says-
about your financing options. See, that's what the title is for that paragraph.
yeah, but it says rebatable work.
Right, but that work that's eligible for the rebate.
So it doesn't say what the rebate is.
Right,
Right,
so we'd have to ask that question.
Well, it says any income efficiency main rebate, so yeah, any income, but
I mean, you're eligible for the financing if you're eligible for the rebate. But
is there a way to figure it out?
well,
No,
it
we have
says
to-
efficiency main, any income rebate, so that's my next, yeah.
Google.
yeah, so, or we can call and ask about that. As far as what the criteria are for that. So,
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense because it's like,
Looking them up to the network, know what they offer, what the costs would be. Now Bill said I was incorrect, but when I talked to Candace at the ICC,
yeah,
she said that they actually are subsidizing the one that they have there,
huh,
which means that it's not making any money.
right. Well, I mean, our goal is not to turn a profit, but
Yeah.
to,
Just
but not to cost the town money.
Yeah,
I actually think, Holly, that Bill and I both had the same comment that when they were originally installed in the ICC was not subsidizing them, so that's been changed since they were originally installed, and I don't know why.
okay. Well, that was the only information that Candace had, so I don't know if it changed before she got there.
They were installed before she got there. They
Yeah.
were installed on my watch as the chair of the board, which was over in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
22, 21.
Well, I wonder if the company that takes the credit cards and all that, I wonder if the fees and all that are above and beyond what people pay per kilowatt hour. And, so that might be what the ICC has to pay. Like you probably have to run a lot of cars through the charger to make up for what the company charges the ICC to run it.
Right, there's a monthly service contract with
right.
the company
Right.
for the processing.
That may be the issue, yeah.
But.
We probably don't have enough business to make it.
And they
Well,
don't have solar on their roof, do they?
no,
So they're basically just paying electricity, they're not generating anything.
correct.
That may have something to do with it too.
Yeah, I guess I'm wondering if there's any reason why it wouldn't make sense to survey possible companies.
Yeah, that's what I wanna do.
Okay. The ground array for the health center, I think, so I have been in touch, with the consultant that Kreska had worked with before, when this was first being proposed about the wetlands and the obtaining a permit, and supplied her with the schema, which is somewhere in all those Google documents, if you want to see it, that Kreska had created for the size array that would provide the sufficient output to cover the needs of what we think would be the needs of the health center. And that does impinge somewhat on the wetlands. And what we weren't sure about was, whether that was going to be cost of getting permits and everything would be prohibitive. Kreska had suggested going ahead with the permitting process before we submit an RFP. And so we signed an agreement with this Alyssa Pulver, who's the consultant, and what she's going to do for $2,500. She is going, comes out of the budget, the health center budget. This was within the original health center grant that Kreska got. But for $2,500, she will create a more detailed site plan outlining how much it impinges on the wetlands. Based on what I sent her, her estimate was that it would come to about 14,000 square feet total area and 4,000 square feet of direct, meaning the area impinged by the actual support systems. Now, those numbers fall below the required, the Army Corps of Engineers, and she will go ahead and set that up for us. Her original communication with me was that to then go to the next step of submitting all the paperwork for the permits and everything would probably be like another $3,000. So we signed that agreement for that first step to go ahead with that. And then we'll have to see where that takes us. If it looks like, we started exploring what we thought would be the maximum size we might want. If it looks like that's going to be cost prohibitive, we can scale it down a bit. Kreska, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
Yeah.
Based on what we understand now. So this first phase will tell us the feasibility of, whether we would be able to get the permits or not, because there are some challenges with the
Figure, but
Harriet, who is she?
she's this consultant.
Consultant.
Her name is Alyssa Pulver, and I can't remember the name of the company that she works for.
Gartley and Dorsky.
Yeah, and they're an engineering consulting firm that does this sort of thing. And she had originally been involved during the first phase. You had met with her previously, right, Kreska?
Yeah, and even before I met with her, I think she was also, their company did the wetland survey, so they're the ones that are most qualified to go through this process with us. They decided that there was a wetland back there that we have to get permits for, so I tried to remove the wetland, but it didn't work.
Well, you could have siphoned it all up for their visit.
And as far as contacting the neighbor, I think we could probably do that anytime, if we're exploring the permitting. Might be worth, I don't know whether we want to wait till we have.
Well, Kreska wanted for the three of us to talk before I talked to Don.
Okay,
And that hasn't gotten initiated, so, I'm ready to talk to Don anytime you want. He doesn't spend a lot of time on the island, so it'll be a telephone call probably.
yeah.
And if when he's on the island for his brief stays, he wants to walk it, we could certainly
Yeah.
facilitate that, but I'm ready to talk to you and get my instructions anytime you all want to set up a meeting.
I think at any time, I think it's, even though we're sort of in preliminary stages, letting him know that we're working on it would be polite.
I agree. I would I would argue for sooner rather than later.
No. Okay, so we can talk.
Okay.
Um. E-tip update. Does anybody want to date on the recent E-tip meeting?
They're still scoping, Barbara Talmo from Affordable Housing, came in on the Zoom for a little bit. She's very interested in working with us. And I mean, they're trying to gather information and I don't think I can put it in words.
Right.
I
So they're
couldn't go,
planning
so.
to come do a site visit
All right, they're coming to do a site visit.
around the, I guess
April
the
9th
week
to
of
10th.
April 7th to 10th.
Yeah,
You'll probably be on the island on the 9th and 10th, something like that. And we thought we'd probably do some kind of, there's a meeting of various committee chairs and so on at the library that morning, and they were interested in, and that's purpose of that meeting is primarily for their people who plan events to make sure they're not stepping on each other's toes and work together on things that where there's common ground. You know, wanted to just kind of use that as an opportunity to connect with, you know, other people on the island. Then we thought maybe we'd have a lunch that day and invite, we could talk about who to invite to that, you know, people that we think it'd be worthwhile for them to meet on the island. Elizabeth, you spoke to Melissa about the library meeting.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I'm driving. Yes, I talked to Melissa, and she was very interested in having the ETIP folks from the National Lab come out and visit during the meeting. I can forward the email, but she was kind of also talking about she won't be on island on April 10th, but she thinks that we can still go ahead and have that meeting. And she recommended having the ETIP people come in at 10:30, or all of us who are a part of the ETIP group come in at 10:30 after sort of regular business ends of like the schedule coordinating and all of that stuff, and having a time for the ETIP presentation or sort of like describing what the scoping process is and what the project is at 10:30 after regular business, so that people who can stay will stay and engage, and then people who can't can leave. But then also she kind of recommended doing both, doing an ETIP library meeting and a lunch later in the day, so that if people have to leave from the library meeting who are leaders of prominent groups, and they can have an opportunity to come to lunch later, or if people have questions that don't get answered during the meeting, they can come to lunch and kind of have more Q&A time. So yeah, that was the update from Melissa.
Yeah, I mean, we thought, yeah, there might be other people. We thought it might be nice to invite, well, not just all committee members, but like the select board to the lunch so they can
Mm-hmm,
meet.
mm-hmm.
Probably more about that. Okay, before going on to the maintenance equipment discussion, why don't we just, I think we can do the main can conference quickly. You were working on the posters.
I was
So-
working on them, and Cressico so kindly helped me do some editing with that, and we were in a little bit of discussion with that this past weekend. So what are your updates for it?
I would say, okay, so we are able to combine the print job with our print jobs here at UMaine so that we wouldn't have to worry about getting it printed anywhere else. So, and that will mean that it can also just travel with the rest of the posters.
Right.
Which is nice because it'll almost certainly show up at the conference venue. So that hopefully makes it easier on everyone in terms of logistics. So all of you who are able to come don't have to worry about transporting the poster. And I finished going over it, and I can send out the document for everyone to look at over the next few days. And we'll probably have about, I think we'll be printing it at the beginning of next week. So we have a few more days to look it over, and I'll just send it out to the Google group.
How does it, do they print it out on poster board, or does it come out on? We then have to put it onto the board, or?
It's just on poster paper. And then we have boards that we clamp it to. So we
Okay.
have boards on easels that are set up for this kind of poster display.
Okay,
So it'll make it easier in general, I think.
so how many people are planning to go? So they'll be there,
Bill's going, Elizabeth's going, I'm going.
I'm gonna go as well. And everybody else, yeah.
You already.
My husband's going too, because he's on the groundwater committee, and there's a lot of stuff about water on the
Yes.
descriptions.
And Bill's planning on driving, Harriet, so there's room for all of us to go
Yeah,
with him.
we may not come back directly here, so.
He may not?
We may not,
Oh,
maybe going, it depends, we may be going skiing or something after.
gotcha.
All right, so now the maintenance of equipment discussion, I put this on as a follow-up to last month's discussion in the email chain that went around. And Trevor brought up the concern that we had, I guess, the committee decided to recommend to the town that there be a maintenance person who would take over responsibility for keeping the schedule for when the filters need to be changed on the various heat pumps.
I
And
mean, my concern was just around it being a full-time employee. It just didn't seem like a full-time employee's worth of work, and over email, I think we resolved that.
there's no way, that it's not a full-time job.
Yep.
I think, as I
Yeah.
understand, the committee's intent was that it really should not be the responsibility of this group of volunteers. Because things are bound to just fall through the cracks in that situation. So we can certainly reinforce that with Janet, and I think she gets that too. I mean, I think maintaining the heat pumps is probably a matter of a few hours every month, but it does require just being organized about, because you've got different, some of them require filter changes every 3 months, some are every 2 months, and keeping track of all that.
Now, is this something that we feel like we should request that the person hired make regular reports to the Energy Committee on like the state of equipment?
What do people think?
I'm thinking that's Janet's responsibility because she's gonna oversee them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I do have a question.
yeah.
I know there was a job posting for building manager of the health center.
Right.
Do we get information about the upkeep of the potential solar array there and heat pumps in there, or is this gonna be the town employees?
It should be I think that was what this committee was recommending, that it should be a town employee's responsibility, not just for the health center, but for all the buildings. The solar arrays don't require, there's not like a regular service requirement, although, as we've seen, does require somebody looking at the reports, and if something's not reporting or not working right, getting service in.
Well, I thought Bill's report on the snow cover was pretty convincing that someone in the town needs to be convinced to remove the snow.
I'm very uncomfortable with that. Having somebody get up on a ladder.
They don't get up on a ladder.
Well, Bill's picture that he sent around, how,
No, you use a rig.
they can get all the way to the top of the solar panels with a raise?
They don't have to get to the
They
top.
don't have to get to.
He was talking, you know how the porch has a different roof
Yeah.
and it's not as
Yeah.
sloped. He's just talking about taking the snow off of the porch roof to help facilitate the snow.
Okay.
Sliding
Okay.
down and melting.
Okay. Yeah, when I saw the picture of his ladder, and I'm like, we cannot make somebody get up on a ladder to do that.
No, I agree.
Okay, all right.
We
I'm
can
more
certainly share
comfortable.
that info with, Janet and.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Wasn't this presented at the last select board meeting?
I don't think anybody from the energy committee went to the last select board meeting.
No,
I thought it was being presented by the town. Though Janet was presenting it.
No.
I mean, is it our responsibility to present it to the select board?
Well, there's multiple things going on. The select board has been considering.
Be responsible station.
yeah,
That was one of the things that Fred was really adamant about.
well, I remember the
He
heat
wanted-
pump ones, but are there other service contracts that we signed?
Generator.
Nothing
that did that one.
Which,
We wanted the generator to be serviced regularly as well. Did that get signed on top of the heat pumps or is that still not open?
it was not part of the heat pump contract.
Okay.
I don't know.
Cause they were saying
There's
something
nothing
about
that's coming.
using the fire station project budget in order to get someone to do servicing, to pay them for to come and
Oh,
service.
that I hadn't heard about.
But the service contract is that the one that's 3,000 a year for
No.
the heat pumps?
I don't think it was.
That's
that.
the solar. The insurance, in order to have the town insurance cover it, the insurance company required a service contract. And this is just something we need to review because it could get very expensive very quickly. If they have to have service contracts for every array. And there's a lot of ambiguity about which arrays needed which service contracts and who's actually following through on those service contracts. So
Well, that would be.
it's
another
something we need to take up.
facility Manager to
Right.
keep track of.
Right.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I read that was that it was because it was a PPA that was required.
No, under the PPA, the company that owned the array did the service work and had the service contract.
Oh,
Then
that's right.
when the town bought the array, the town both needs to insure it and provide the service contract, yeah.
So what kind of service is covered under a service contract for a solar?
Some service.
Anything that goes wrong with
Right, I
the
was gonna
solar
say,
array is.
It's not that though. It's like we have warranties on the equipment, so I'm
Right.
not entirely sure what it is other than they come out and check it out a couple times a year or once a year and don't provide any documentation.
So some
it's-
service contracts don't necessarily cover routine maintenance. They cover, it's more like an insurance policy to cover unexpected
Or repairs,
failures or
right.
repairs, yeah.
But it was required by the insurance, so the town didn't have much of a
Right.
choice.
We do have a choice about the source and the cost, and the $3,000 kind of it eliminates a lot of the savings that we get from owning the array. And for some reason I don't want to get into it right now. I'd like us or somebody, me, I guess, to find out more information about it before we speculate about it. But we do need to have a handle on what are all of the elements of operations and maintenance of all of these arrays, in addition to the heat pumps. You know, we mentioned a whole bunch of different issues that we have to address, like making sure that the monitoring is continuous, which apparently it turned out that it was the library internet problem, which a lot of us know that the library internet has been a problem for quite a while. And then there's, vegetation management, there's snow management, there's regular maintenance and whatever the insurance requires. There's basically a list of issues that we have to come up with a strategy to
I think one of the things we were asked to go through all the manuals and create a schedule for just the heat pumps, and even that, is probably, quite a bit of work. Once you've got it down, then it's done. So, keeping it up is not as much work as going through it initially.
Can I just ask you an informational?
Yeah.
Is there any chance that there's any play in renegotiating that?
The service contract?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a yearly contract. It would just be, I think it would be helpful for us to, number one, talk to Janet, like what would we can, like aggregate them, and can we negotiate? There's a whole bunch of different factors that we could look at that would probably result in savings.
So what's the path to do that?
Yeah, so we need somebody who's able to, who's got the time to sit down and look at all that. We don't have to decide that right now, we can, but you're right. Somebody needs to kind of
Do
take
we
hold
know
of
the
that. and
date
work on
for
it.
the renewal of that $3,000?
Do you know when that comes up for renewal, Jessica?
Let me see. I'll try to find it. Well, you can continue. I'll try.
I hate to pile on Bill when he's not here, but it seems like he would be a good person to do this. He's been involved with it
Yeah,
all along and.
yeah.
Isn't that fair? You volunteer people.
Okay, well, so we need to move on a little
I
bit.
think he might be interested in doing
Yeah.
it. I know we put it
Definitely
out.
ask him. So moving on to the event committee. Guys,
We have not met.
now, but.
I've got a report.
Yeah.
I've got a gangbuster speaker and no place for her to speak. Her name is, I gave you a
Yeah,
thing.
Okay.
She's,
That's what that's.
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah, she is a senior staff member at the company Mazzetti, and she works on decarbonization and sustainability in historic buildings. You read this, she's been involved in the museum for the Native Americans in the Smithsonian. She's gangbusters, and she's very excited about coming. And so then when I finally pinned her down, I forwarded this to Peter, and he says, "Oh, too bad, forum schedule's full." Like, okay. So I guess the question would be, do we want to wait until next summer, a year from 26, or do we want to field? Do we think that we could attract enough of a crowd with this kind of topic? I just put a name on it. She probably would come up with a much sassier name, but anyway.
I don't mean to interrupt, I'm sorry, I just read over it. Is it the Native Americans or African American history?
Oh, it's African American, sorry. Yeah.
now,
I mean, because to make this be really successful takes a lot of work to get the ICC filled with enough people to make it worthwhile to do it.
right, I think we talked about perhaps putting together a panel. Maybe she
And
can be a
that's still,
keynote speaker.
I haven't approached her with that possibility, and I don't know whether Trevor has had any more contact with his person. And I haven't tried to reach Steve Phillips again until I heard from her, and I just got back. It took me a long time to get in contact with her. Her telephone number was not, there's something wrong with her telephone number, so anyway.
Yeah, we had talked about it.
I mean, the people
go
I
ahead.
talked to would be happy to come for a non-forum event as well. So
And who was,
entity that they spot a Freeport. And so the model is sort of like community training and getting people to
so
build.
this is a nonprofit?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, they're running an energy coaching program.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much us.
So yeah, that's what they're doing. They're helping homeowners do home energy upgrades. much like we had hoped to do.
Yeah. So I think that it would fit nicely within a larger panel as well of like the different energy paths that people can pursue.
My concern, quite frankly, is that Janice put enormous amount of work into making that a large number of people who came to the event said they wanted to hear more about, and most of the people in the room were members of the Energy
Yeah.
Committee.
Yeah.
And there was maybe one or two people outside the Energy Committee who came. So I would personally not want to bring this woman here and host her and
Right.
fed her and have 20 people in the ICC community hall. So that's my concern.
So,
We had hoped to do it sometime during the summer. I mean, one of the goals was to get some of the people who own seasonal homes, particularly
Right.
those who keep the heat running.
Right.
Not everybody does, but, and the ways that they can do that. Certainly the forum attracts a lot of those people. I think we could, and of course, there's a lot of other competing events as well.
I do think though that having someone who's an expertise in this with Elaine and then also the people Trevor has been speaking with may garnish more attraction from people to like come and do it instead of just the entities of the island.
Yeah.
Speaking about the history and the projects and the future plans.
Yeah,
Because that helped get our foot in the door with the community, which was a good turnout. And then we're able to produce like, hey, we actually have experts in these categories.
yeah,
And some of it is pretty interesting, especially someone who worked in the Smithsonian National Museum. That's
yeah.
kind of big and people enjoy that type of
She's high
stuff.
power.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so,
And she said immediate yes.
okay.
And said she apparently, and she's wanted to visit Islesboro for years. So
That's always a
And
good,
so-
that's always a good,
yeah, so that
Draw.
was a plus that it was an island asking her.
yeah.
But, yeah, I remain concerned that with the whole busy, our target audience is the summer community and the winter. We've lots of
It's not
people
just
with
them.
historic homes, year-round
Yeah,
homes.
yeah.
The salt boxes are in this category.
Not solely
too.
the summer community, but.
It's both,
it
the
will be,
year-round
yeah.
salt box owners and a lot of summer people own salt boxes.
Yeah,
And, so how to get the maximum attendance, and I'm just, and then we'd be competing with the forum lecture series, so.
well, do you think we could do like a free-form week or
when does the forum start?
It's July and August, it's the maximum summer resident time.
Okay, so maybe we could do
It's
that.
every Sunday in July and August.
So we would have to look at the town schedule of all the entities coming to the town calendar. We would also have to look at the terror team schedule if someone had their hands on that to look at all the events and
Yes.
sporting.
Well, the
daycare.
town calendar, that's the group that Elizabeth was talking about. They're now meeting monthly to try and coordinate events and things like that, so.
And then that way, also not stepping on the toes of the forum, but we were already told like, hey, if you can bring information, more than likely we can get it on the forum panel. Now it's too late.
Yeah.
Maybe we could speak to the members of the forum and say like, we are trying to bring more information about clean energy and how to improve your homes and retrofit, while also protecting the historical integrity of the home. We're not trying to step on toes, but we understand that you're full,
Mhm.
Well, it's pretty clear, Peter said they're full.
Yeah,
Well-
so, and more not be like, hey, can we come in, just more of like, we would like to do this, and we are not trying to copy you or like step on your
Right.
toes, we're just trying to provide more information to the community.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't think they would feel like their toes are being stepped on. It's
No.
more a matter of, how much bandwidth do people have to go to events. Well, what about, so maybe the end of June, they start in July.
well, I'm just wondering if they would do an additional one this year, or if they would collaborate with us if we did the heavy lifting, but they were part of it, you know, an additional either opening move before they were gonna start or 1 week after they were gonna end.
Well, that's what, I mean, I think at this point I need to go past Peter and talk to Bruce.
That'd be my
Because-
recommendation.
Yeah, and I think I need to call Bruce and tell him what's happened and see if, and I think my concern about putting a lot of effort into it is we can always capture the people who stay, the snowbirds who own salt boxes and the year-round people who own salt boxes, but we're also trying to capture the cottage owners and bring them in. And yeah, so the time, there's a window when those people are here. And it's traditionally July and August, and the forum has that wrapped up. That's my
Right, but a
concern.
lot of them come sooner than that. I mean, a lot of them are here by the middle of June, many of them stay till the middle of September. Not all, not everybody, but there's quite a few, so.
Everybody with kids leaves by the middle of August.
Right, but
That's a
not
big,
everybody.
that's the
But,
whole
you
young
know.
population.
Yeah,
Maybe we
but
could
you
do the
know,
opening. Maybe we could open before they.
you know, a
start.
lot of the owners
Yeah, because
are,
they're not constrained with getting here because their kids get out of school usually by the beginning of June.
yeah, but a lot of the families with kids are, you know, like ours, are visiting grandparents and. You know, they're not, many of the,
Well, does it make sense for me to have a jaw with Bruce and see what
think
his
so.
reaction is?
Or close the season for the forum is
I mean, could we
sponsored.
have this in like a events discussion? I think I don't know that we're gonna get to a solution
Yeah.
right now.
No,
I
but-
think that, you know, I think we've come to Kathy will, you know, talk to Bruce about whether we could do it as a joint event, maybe at the beginning or the end of the season, understanding that they're already full, you know, not asking them that, and see what he says. I mean, he may say, no, we've got, you know, and then maybe the event committee can meet and talk about it further.
And is your thought suggesting to him that, we would help facilitate an opening cocktail party for the forum?
And the speaker.
Pardon?
And the speaker.
Yeah. Plus a cocktail party. Little pot sweetener?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're sort of running out of time. Elizabeth, do you have anything, you down?
And then I'm working with Pressica on looking at CMP billing and tracking that. It's going a little bit slower than I'd anticipated on my end, but I'll be getting back into that soon. As I mentioned, I'm driving, so I'm on the mainland right now for a fellowship program. I'll be here for the next couple days, and then I'm taking some time off Monday through Thursday of next week. So if I'm not responding to emails, I'm only checking intermittently. If anyone needs anything from me, still feel free to message. I just might not see it right away. Yeah, and then I know that we were going to talk about date changes. The other thing I'm working on with the fellowship right now is the trash and show. So would love to see you all at the trash and show if we're able to do the meeting on a different week. It'll be April 14th is the show. And if you guys want to volunteer or help out in any way, please reach out to me. Particularly, I'm looking for people who might be able to drive people to and from the ferry and the Quicksilver, because the show starts at 5:30, so people will be taking and we're advertising in the Midcoast Villager, so there might be some folks from the mainland or family members of kids from the mainland who might be coming from and needing a ride back to the boat at the end of the show. So if you think that could be you, please reach out to me. One other thing, backtracking a bit, I wanted to say, in light of Bill's messages to the group with the town office array, the library array, and then the fire station, I reached out to him about that and asked for the login information for those portals so that I could maybe help add that to our sort of data portfolio that we're kind of building. And I think that we've noticed that we want to have more data and tracking of these different things, maybe in a more central place. And he said he would get back to me when he gets back from traveling. So that conversation's kind of put a pause on that for now. But yeah, those are my updates. Thank you.
Elizabeth, do you want to talk about, Candace told me something about a Bangor TV station? Do you
Oh
wanna
my
talk
gosh,
about?
yeah. So I got reached out to yesterday by someone on Bangor who wants to come film the trash and show, like kind of cover it and cover a couple workshops.
That's great.
So if you want to be on TV, you can come hang out at the trash and show. But no, it'll be really cool to see the artists celebrated. And I think for our last couple workshops, we'll open it up to adults. So if anyone wants to come play with the things that have been left in my office building a big garbage pile, please feel free. And also anytime really, if you want to come look at stuff, it's a lot of fun. And shout out to Janice. Thank you so much for volunteering and helping with the kids, especially when I wasn't there. So thank you guys.
Trevor's daughter made shoes.
Oh, cool.
And
Well-
no, my kids are all about the trash in show. They're pumped.
Is there an
They're
issue?
rocking it. They're doing so great.
That was actually the last item on the agenda
Okay.
is the dates, and I had sent out an email to everybody, but I only got a few responses, so the proposal is to move it to our meeting date from the 14th to the 7th of April. And then there's also a conflict in June, which is the primary election day is on the date of our meeting, so this room would not be available, so there's also proposing moving the June meeting to June 2nd. Concerns?
Great to remember.
Okay, so we'll do a vote. Cressica? So the vote is to move the April and June dates of the meeting.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Summer?
Trevor?
Yeah, Holly?
I agree.
Monica? Me, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to get them because I somehow missed that email. The June date would be to move from what to what?
From the 14th to the 7th,
Thank you. I'm fine.
and then.
No,
Yes.
and June would be the 9th to the 2nd.
Yeah,
Moving them forward to the first Tuesday instead of the
Yeah.
second. Yep.
I also wanted to follow up on that maintenance contract
yeah,
question. So yeah, I found thought I had seen a document with the $3,000 number on it, but the email estimate had $2,000 in it, so that's slightly better. So yeah, and it was signed in October, so we have time.
Great.
okay. All right. Anything else? Yes?
I am sad to say that I need to step away from the committee.
Oh, no.
I am currently very overwhelmed with the medical care that my son needs, especially that he's getting older. There's more therapies and doctors joining our team. I've already let a few people know that we are traveling across the nation to Florida to go see a national specialist that is specific to his condition. And I worked over 3.5 months hounding her to get to it. So it's very important, very special. And we're going to be gone for almost 2 weeks. And with all the new therapies and appointments added onto my plate, I do not have the capacity to put in the proper effort into this committee. I do want to say thank you for allowing me to join. I have enjoyed it greatly over the past 2 years. I've learned so much more than I have ever knew before joining.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate being able to work with all of you. So thank you so much.
Oh, we're sorry to see you
I'm
go.
sorry to see you go.
Understandable. Well, if you know anybody who's interested in taking your place, let us know.
Yeah.
Same for everybody if you have other people. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn? Yeah. We have a motion.
Go, Monica.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're more than welcome to email me, keep up to date, add me on Facebook. Another thing is just that got me, Jessica. We're moving down to Georgia in order to be closer to healthcare for my son. This past year has been insanely isolating. And it's a very hard condition that we are currently in the comfort stage of, and it's about to get much harder, so we need the support of family and easier access and not living on an island with a ferry schedule anymore, so, but it's all for good. We are sad and we aren't expressing exactly when we're moving, but I will reach out to be able to say goodbyes and we will try to visit as much as we can. So, but yeah, I just thank you for being so understanding this past year. It's really helped me, and also having much love and care for Everett. It's been really helpful. So thank you.
Well, I mean, that's certainly, we can certainly understand. Trying to manage something like that on the island is pretty tough. So you have family in Georgia?
Yes, I'm originally from Georgia. My family's down there and my husband's family is in Alabama.
Oh.
So only 3 hours away, so. It will be quite nice to have a village for us
Yeah,
and, having extra hands when times do begin to
there's
live.
huge difference, yeah.
So,
And of course, good medical care down there. Well, you will definitely be missed
Definitely.
and, you know, happy to have you participate in anything that you want to participate in. Well, find somebody new.